So just what businesses should be operating and what shouldn't? Eric Post is a partner at Varnum and corporate attorney on the live line with us this morning. Eric, thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. Good to be with you.
There are a lot of questions, and there are some business owners that just don't know. So how do we find out what industry sectors are critical infrastructure moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. It is confusing, and there's a lot of different information out there. The governor's order identifies 16 different critical infrastructure sectors. These are based on federal guidance from the Department of Homeland Security, and they include all the big ones like healthcare, law enforcement, food and agriculture, communications, transportation, and certain critical manufacturing, among other things.
So what employees, this is the harder question, I think, for a lot of businesses that are in order that, might not be able to work from home. What employees, according to the wording, are necessary to conduct minimum basic operations?
Sure. We've been telling people these are the employees that are just, absolutely necessary just to keep the lights on, to keep the business's property from falling apart. So it's those that are necessary in a strict sense to maintain the value of inventory and equipment, to ensure security or process transactions, which includes things like payroll and employee benefits. And finally, people that facilitate the ability of other workers to work remotely, such as IT.
Eric, let me ask you this question, and I know that this is a gray area, but I thought this was a great piece I read in the Detroit Free Press, and me being a sports guy, but people were asking me because the golf courses have been loaded. And golf courses fall in that gray area because they're not necessarily wanting to be open for business, per se. They understand that part of it, even though you're outside and social distancing. But they brought up a great point. What about maintaining, just like a farmer would, maintaining that golf course with as minimal staff as possible so that when this does pass, they've still got a season and a chance to try to make it this season as a business?
Yeah, that's a good example. That certainly could be possible. We'd want to look at it, but that's an example of maintaining the value of their, equipment, inventory, at least ensuring that the courses don't fall apart. So that makes sense to me.
So do they contact the Michigan government? Is that what your recommendation would be? I mean, if they're not sure, just to follow protocol?
In some cases, we do have clients that are doing that. In many cases, they are not, and just kind of making the determination on their own. But it really just depends.
What do you say to a business? Should they err on the side of caution? What if they unwittingly are continuing and are afraid of some sort of punitive action from the government? How does one proceed with an air of caution but still have to do business?
Yeah, and the governor's order does kind of make two distinctions there. One, we would recommend talking to an attorney, trying to figure out the right way forward, but if they don't go into a lot of detail on what the penalties are. They talk about, this shall be enforced and subject to sanctions to the fullest extent of the law. If there's a willful violation, if you know that you're doing something wrong, that could actually be a criminal misdemeanor. But we don't have a good sense of how this is going to be enforced yet, just because it's so new and given that it's only going to hopefully be around for a few weeks.
I think your cell phone will go off and then your television will go off late at night and let you know if you've some sort of infraction.
That's right.
Varnum partner and corporate attorney Eric Post, it has been a pleasure. Thanks for your time today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.